to bring up or to nourish. So the purpose of all knowledge and education is to nourish the person in his mind and his heart. And that we are searching in this material world, but we are not able to receive such knowledge. So where we can receive such knowledge, which will nourish our heart and our mind both. That Krishna reveals in the Bhagavad Gita. So we will begin by reciting the Mangalacharan, the invocation, and then we will discuss on the fourth chapter. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sure Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So today we will explore the fourth chapter, which gives us the transcendental knowledge or the spiritual knowledge of our eternal relation with the Supreme Lord. So far we have seen in the Bhagavad Gita, we have covered the first chapter, where it was known that what actually is success. Krishna makes Arjuna redefine success, to think upon it. What is success for Dhritarashtra is not the success for Arjuna. Somehow Dhritarashtra, he was very much attempting to remain the king. He was wanting to remain as the head of the state, even if his sons were to die. Whereas Arjuna, that was success for him. Whereas Arjuna, for him, kingdom or even the heavenly kingdom did not mean success. What was success for him? That no one died. That was success for him. But Krishna, in this chapter, makes us understand that what is success? Success is actually to carry out the instructions of the Supreme Lord. But how we can do that? How can we carry out the instruction of the Supreme Lord when we don't know who is the Lord? and when we don't know about ourselves also. So in the second chapter, Krishna gives the identity, the discovery of the self. Krishna gave the Atma, and Krishna not only gave the identity, but Krishna also gave the purpose or mission of life. What is the mission of life? If I may ask, what mission did Krishna recommend in the second chapter? Who can share? What is the message from the second chapter? First is the Atma Gyan, to know that we are not these bodies, we are not this mind. And then what Krishna recommends? What is the purpose? Or yes, Ramya, you can answer.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in second chapter, Lord Krishna gave that we must surrender to a spiritual master and follow the two duties, that is Swadharma and
Yes, very good. So we must
Swadharma.
perform our duties. The two duties, Swadharma and Sanatana Dharma. And to be able to do that, what we have to do? We have to reposition our lifestyle. That is what we did in the third chapter. We discovered. Krishna explained that we should not just be seeking enjoyment, which is bringing reactions, but we should learn to perform action which is free from reaction, which is called yajna or sacrifice, which is liberating. Then also in the third chapter, Krishna explained, Arjuna inquired, the question was inquired by Arjuna, that what makes the individual perform sinful action? Although he does not willingly wants to perform any sin. But what is that force that pushes everyone to perform sinful action? Atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purusham. Why one performs such sinful action? And the Supreme Lord reveals it is because of the mode of passion and ignorance, the most formidable enemy in the form of lust. Lust. Lust does not mean only having physical enjoyment. Lust means any attempt to enjoy separately from the Supreme Lord. In fact, in our case, Supreme Lord is nowhere. So why the lust is the greatest enemy? So Krishna says, Avritam Jnanam Etena. This lust covers the knowledge and intelligence of the living. So now we begin the fourth chapter. So how to remove the lust? By invoking our eternal relation with the Supreme. This chapter says that unless and until we have re-established or rediscovered our eternal relation with the Supreme Lord, we cannot be free from the forces of lust. So this was the overview of the third chapter that we discussed, that we need to have the exemplary lifestyle of performing yajna. So what is the fourth chapter? The fourth chapter, Krishna continues to answer Arjuna's question that how the lust is the most formidable enemy of every living entity. Because it covers the intelligence, it covers the knowledge. So how to remove lust? Is by invoking knowledge. Which knowledge? that knowledge which is more powerful than us, spiritual knowledge or transcendental knowledge, or knowledge regarding living entities' relation with the Supreme Lord. Transcendental knowledge elevates us from the mode of passion, purifies us to come to the mode of goodness, and protects us to perform Nishkam Karma. So Krishna will glorify. Krishna first reveals the history of this knowledge. This knowledge that Krishna spoke to Arjuna. So many times we have this doubt that someone is giving some information or knowledge, whether it is valid or not, whether it will work or not. So Arjuna may have such a doubt, or even if Arjuna does not have, we have a doubt. So Krishna will give the history. This chapter is classified into 4 divisions. First is the eternal education. The first 10 verses, Krishna will speak about the glory and the history of this spiritual education. Then Krishna will remove the misconceptions that we have in our heart. And also, Krishna will give us the art of work is to remove reactions. That we can perform action which will be liberating and which will release us from any sinful reaction, or which is called the art of work. And Krishna recommends the process of sacrifices. Among the various sacrifices, which is the chief one. So this is the overview of this chapter. So in the first verse, Krishna says that Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Abhyam Vivasvan Manave Prabhu Manurikshava Abrahvid. If you have Bhagavad Gita, you can have a look. So the Lord is saying that, my dear Arjuna, don't think that I am experimenting with you, or I am trying to, invent anything new for you. The knowledge that I am sharing to you is the same knowledge which I, in the past, gave to the Son of God. Imam Vivasvate Yoga. What is this knowledge? This knowledge is called yoga. So actually, the real meaning of yoga is one's connection or relation with the Supreme. Yoga just does not mean physical fitness. That is what most of us understand in today's world. But yoga means our link or our connection with the Supreme God. So this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is so very important and so very glorious because it links us directly in relation with the Supreme. So if we do not equip ourselves with this knowledge, then our relation with the Supreme Lord is also covered. It remains covered. Krishna is saying that this knowledge first I gave to the Sun God, Vivasva. The Sun is the most important amongst all the planets. It is called the king of the planets. Sun is the king of the planets. All the planets rotate around the Sun. And without the presence of Sun, our existence will be very difficult. Because the light, heat, and energy that comes out from the Sun, it surpasses. Many years back, I did one research from the NASA site. I got this information that the amount of light and heat that the Sun emanates in 1 hour, very important. In 1 hour, the quantum of light and heat the Sun emanates, it surpasses all the energy which has been produced by human race till date. That is, most of it is lost. We cannot utilize it. But why Krishna spoke to sun god? Because sun is the king of all planets. And from him, this knowledge was passed again to Manu. Manu is the father of mankind. From him, we are called Manushya. And then to Ikshvaku, a great king. Ikshvaku comes in the lineage of Lord Ram. Very powerful, very mighty king. So actually, if we see, very interestingly, this knowledge was given to the most high positions, those leaders who were in the highest positions. And because it is their duty, it is the duty of every leader or those who are the kings. Previously, there used to be kings as the leaders to protect the citizens. As we saw, to protect the citizens from where? Not just to give them food, shelter, and clothing. That is, of course, there. But to protect the citizens from the influence of lust. This is very common there. The influence of lust, if you go and ask any consultant, any doctor, the best of the medical doctor in AIMS, the head of the department or AIMS director, that my dear sir, I am having trouble with lust. So you please recommend some treatment for me or some drug for me. And does he have any solution to it? He has no solution. The only solution to lust is reviving our eternal relation with the Supreme God. And this knowledge, Krishna in the beginning of the creation, he imparted to Sun God. And Prabhupada writes, when you will read the purport, that the kings of all planets are specially meant for the protection of the inhabitants, and therefore the royal order should understand the science of Bhagavad Gita. So for all leaders, those who are in leadership position, it is mandatory for us to receive this knowledge and pass on this knowledge to our dependents so that we can serve them, we can protect them. And then Krishna gives the entire sequence of lineage or history. So this knowledge has been there for millions of years. It is not anything new Krishna is experimenting. That okay, Arjuna, come. I'll tell you something. This will work for you. No. This knowledge remains the same. Even if you see, for last 5,000 years, all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita remain the same. There is no change. And if you see our Constitution of India, when was our Constitution of India came into force? How many years back? 75 years or 76 years back. In 1947, we received independence. And after 2-3 years, Dr. Ambedkar, constituted the constitution. And the elected government accepted it. Effectively, 1950. And we are in 2026, 76 years. And in 76 years, how many amendments we have seen? More than 100. What is this? That means it is not perfect. So anything which is coming from human mind, it has all possibilities of imperfection. But this eternal knowledge which is coming from Krishna, it is perfect. There is no change. If we apply this knowledge, then we can experience change. The knowledge does not change. But in other way, if you see, all the academic books that are being used now, if you see in the curriculum, 30 years back, 40 years back, the books would be some different authors, some different titles. And 10, 15, 20 years down the line also, you will see the books will change. Why they are changing? Because they are experimenting. They don't know what is the perfect. They don't have the perfection. So this knowledge which Krishna is revealing is eternally perfect. And he gave it to the highest person, the sun god Vivaswan. And through him it has been coming down. And then Krishna says that this knowledge which is coming down in disciplic succession. Now this. You can see the slide. So who can receive this knowledge? He says that one who comes in the disciplic succession. This eternal education or this eternal knowledge, not anyone and everyone can receive. There is some eligibility, there is some qualification. And what is that qualification? He says, Evam parampara praptam imam raj rishyo. So this person, the Vivaswan and Manu and Ikshuvaku, they are all kings. They are Raja, but they are also Rishis. Rishis means renunciates. So although they have the power and the opulence of the king, but they have the knowledge and heart of detachment. And it is coming in disciplic succession. It is called parampara. So who can acquire this knowledge, from whom, and what is it all about? So these are three important questions. This eternal knowledge. So Krishna reveals that those who are coming in parampara. So we will discuss what is parampara. So parampara means succession. And what is this succession based on? Not based on family, like we all understand. It is not coming from father to son and from son to grandson. No, sir. It is not like that. Those of you who are studying, like someone is a doctor. If the father is a doctor, it is not that the son is also a doctor. He by default becomes a doctor. No. Or his grandson also becomes a doctor. No. He has to be qualified for it. So in this way, Krishna is saying that this comes only in disciplic succession, where it is passed on from a qualified spiritual master to a bona fide student. And then in turn, the bona fide student who has received this knowledge, he becomes the spiritual master for other qualified students. This is called parampara system. This is a chain of disciplic succession of spiritual master and spiritual disciples. A teacher and a student. So this is how this parampara continues. And then he says that, okay. Adyasha, you have to kindly mute. Okay, thank you. So because Arjuna is Krishna's friend and devotee, so Arjuna can receive this knowledge. Not everyone. In the third verse, Krishna says that I am going to reveal this knowledge because you are my friend and devotee. So unless and until one has some connection with Krishna, or he has connection with someone who has connection with Krishna, he cannot become a bona fide recipient of this knowledge. Arjuna is both. Arjuna is his personal friend also, and Arjuna is devotee also. So Arjuna is qualified. So we can receive this knowledge, as I said, from those who have received it from their spiritual master, and through their spiritual master they have the chain of connection. The chain of disciplic section means the chain of connection with Krishna. We cannot receive it from University of Oxford or AIMS or MIT, or for that purpose from any other institute. Today's scenario, the most important teacher is Google. People want to receive all knowledge and information from Google. From Google, we cannot receive this knowledge. So is coming down from we see in Bhagavad Gita, in ISKCON Bhagavad Gita, the entire disciplic succession is mentioned. It is coming down from Krishna to Brahma, and Brahma to Narad to Vyasa, and then further down, it is coming down to Lord Chaitanya. And then from Lord Chaitanya, it is coming down through the six Goswamis, Srila Prabhupada, and now to the followers and disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And then Krishna reveals in this chapter that what is the purpose of his advent, why Krishna appears. So Arjuna inquires this question before Krishna speaks. Arjuna has a doubt. Arjuna inquires that, my dear sir, me and you are both friends and we are of the same age. And you are saying that you gave this knowledge to sun god Vivaswan. And Vivaswan has been existing since the time of creation. So how am I to understand that you gave this knowledge to Vivaswan? I can see you are contemporary, both of us are contemporary. You may be few years older to me, but how you gave this knowledge millions of years back to Vivaswan? So Arjuna is very intelligent. Wherever there is a doubt, he asks. And Krishna then reveals his identity. Like Krishna revealed our identity in the second chapter. So now Krishna will reveal his identity in this chapter. And Krishna says that, my dear Arjuna, both you and me, we have had many, many lives. But there is one basic difference. The difference is when the human form of life, the person appears, he forgets what he did in his past life. Do we know in our past life what we were or what we did? Does anyone remember? No, we don't remember. Why? Because our bodies have changed. Our bodies have got through the change. But here, Krishna tells Arjuna that that is the difference between the living entity and the soul. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. He says that I never change my body. In the sixth verse, Krishna says that although I appear in so many millenniums, but I do not change my life. Why? Because you see, we explained in the second chapter that our existence is at three levels. What are the three levels? The outer level is the gross body. Then we have the subtle body comprising of mind, intelligence, and ego. And finally, the spiritual body, which is called the soul. The spiritual element, soul, is eternal, whereas the gross body and the subtle body, both are material and they keep changing. But Krishna's body is not like our body. This is the main difference to understand from the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna always appears in his spiritual body. I'll give you one example to understand. When Krishna appeared in front of Devaki and Vasudeva, he did not appear like a normal baby. How did he appear? He appeared like the 400 form Lord Vishnu. And when Devaki and Vasudeva saw him in that 400 form, they requested him to become 200 and take the baby. So Krishna accepted that because he appeared to relieve the distress of Vasudeva and Devaki. So this is very important. So here Krishna is saying, he is speaking, we can quickly see that he appears like human, but he appears in his own body, spiritual body. There is no difference. There is no three level in Krishna like we have. The gross level and the subtle level and the spiritual level. His level is only one. Everything is spiritual. And in spirit, there is no change. So he appears in the same original body by his internal potency. And his appearance and disappearance is like the sun. We don't say that the sun is born or the sun has died. The sun just appears and sun disappears. Where the sun disappears to appear somewhere else where we cannot have a vision, where we cannot see. So in this way, Krishna explains to Arjuna the mystery of his appearance. Yeah, this is one comparison between us, the conditioned soul, and the Supreme Lord Krishna. So Krishna is remembering all his birth because his body is avyayam. It does not change. It does not deteriorate. And Krishna appears by his own will. He is not forced to appear by karma. And as I said, his body is completely spiritual and transcendental. And what does that mean? That there is no difference between the body and the soul, because everything is spiritual. So this is what Krishna speaks, and then he says, when does he appear? Very famous verses, you all know these verses, that whenever and wherever there is decline in religious practice. So, to eliminate the irreligion and to establish the religious practice, Krishna appears. And the main purpose of his appearance is to paritranaya sadhana, is to bring joy in the hearts of his devotees, to deliver the sadhus, paritranaya sadhana. And what is the side effect of his appearance? Vinashaya cha dushkrita, to annihilate the miscreants. So that is what Krishna's purpose of appearance is. So he explains. So now one may ask that Krishna says that whenever and wherever there is decline in religion, he will appear. But what about this yuga? In this yuga, is there any decline in religion or not? Yes or no? What is your view? Are the Kali Yuga Jivas at the present moment, are everyone observing full religious principles? Is anyone observing any religious principle? No. Then Krishna has to take birth every moment. And he takes birth in Kali Yuga every moment. How? In his form of names. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna. He appears in his transcendental names. And whoever chants his name, Naam Haite Hoy Sarv Jagat Nishta, he associates with Krishna. And he is finally liberated. He will not remain in this cycle of rotation of birth and death. So in this way, and then Krishna says that both his activities and his birth are transcendental. They are not like all other ordinarily living entities. His journey is transcendental and his secret. Evam yoveti tatvata. Tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mame. So that person is also liberated. He is also freed from the cycle of birth and death. So in this first 10 verses, this first section, Krishna gives the history and the lineage of this knowledge. Who can receive this knowledge? Who is coming in connection with the spiritual master or the spiritual lineage which is connecting to Krishna. Like you are studying, we are studying in where? We are studying in those places which is accredited by the government. Just by studying home tuition, we don't get the degree. No one can get the degree because it is not authorized. So Krishna is authorizing the Guru Shishya Parampara. So whoever is coming in Guru Shishya Parampara, he can receive this knowledge. Vrinderji, you are hearing? Very important aspect of our reviving relationship with the Lord is to connect. Like if we are to have electricity in our house, if we have the best of the equipment, but if we do not have a wire connecting our mains with the powerhouse, then how the flow will come? How the flow will come? So we have to connect to receive the flow. And where this eternal knowledge will be revealed, it will be revealed in the. So this is very important section, that how to receive this knowledge, how to receive this relationship. What is this knowledge? It is called yoga. The knowledge of our relation, our eternal relation with Supreme Lord Krishna. And it comes through the spiritual master or spiritual teacher, someone who is already connected with Krishna. So he can connect. And then Krishna speaks about the various misconceptions that we have in our society. Krishna speaks about 4 varieties of classes, 4 kinds of classes. So we have discussed so far that just by birth, no one is entitled to receive this knowledge. It is not that you are born in one family, so it has become your family business. No, that is not the criteria. Then what is the criteria? That also Krishna reveals. He reveals in the further verses. So when Krishna has made, so this is a life lesson for all of us, that when Krishna has made such an elaborate education system of this knowledge to come to us, then it is our duty to search out the proper university or the parampara and find the right teacher or the instructor from where we can receive this knowledge. What is the misconception? That it is not by caste or it is not by birth that we have this right. So Krishna removes this misconception in this next section. So he says that I have classified the societies in 4 social order and 4 spiritual division. Chatur Varnam Maya Tishtam. And what is this division based? According to quality, which is guna, and activity, which is karma. The society is to be classified, or it is to be distributed according to one's quality and according to one's activity. So these 4 varnas, we call it the 4 varnas or the 4 social orders, is Brahman. Brahman means the head. There cannot be any working body without the head. So the head is what? Is the most intelligent part of the body. So Brahmanas are supposed to be very intelligent people. Then the second varna is the Kshatriya or the administrative. They are compared to the hands. You see, the hands. So the hand is what? It protects. It protects the entire body. If somebody attacks, so we use our hand to protect. So, and administration. So they are called the administrative class. And the third is the mercantile class. That does business, that produces grains, that gives cow protection. So that is compared to the stomach. Because without stomach, how will the body receive energy? Whatever food we eat, we put it in the stomach. And the 4th order is the Shudra class or the labor class, which is compared to the legs. So what the legs do? It supports the entire body. Without the legs, the body cannot be supported. And who will perform which work is not based on birth. It is based on their nature that they have, which is called guna, and the activity which they perform. It is not necessary that a son of a Brahman will become a Brahman. No, he can become a businessman, or son of a businessman, he can become a doctor. Depends on his activity. and depends on his quality. What quality? Yes. So Krishna has not divided the society based on birth. This is a big misconception, which people has misutilized it. People have wrongly exploited it. So our society was never based on birthright. The right is based on one's quality. So in this way, Krishna removes this misconception. And then further, in the next section, Krishna says how to perform action, which is free from reaction, which is called Nishkam Kartya. Action which will not bring any reaction or bondage. Third chapter is called Karma Yoga, and this chapter is Transcendental Knowledge. So combining transcendental knowledge, performing action, being situated in this knowledge. So that action which is in knowledge of what? What is that knowledge? Knowledge about the self, knowledge about the supreme, and knowledge of one's eternal relationship. So that is yoga. So performing action, being situated in knowledge. So that Krishna recommends in the next section. It is from verse number 15 till 24. Some very, very beautiful verses that those who are performing action, but they are free from reaction. So how they work? Because they are able to see that there is no reaction in action. How? Because they are performing the action for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. I'll give you one example. Like a country has a soldier, and the soldier is deputed on the border. And on the border, there is some dispute and there is war. There is war with the enemy kingdom. So this soldier, he performs his duty and he kills 10, 20 soldiers of the enemy side. But that killing does not bring any reaction to him. Rather, he receives reward. The government will give him reward, gallantry award. But if the same soldier, when he comes back to his hometown or his village, and when he has some dispute with his neighbor, and he uses his service weapon and kills that neighbor, will he receive reward? What will he receive? He will receive punishment. That is a crime. So action which is performed for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, being established in yoga, is liberating. It's called yajna. An action which is performed for sense gratification, for self-enjoyment, it is contaminating or binding. So Krishna gives this vision. So how to be able to see inaction in action? It is a little tricky. Hear it attentively. Inaction while performing action. Inaction of what? That there are no counteraction or no reactions. So such a person who sees inaction in action and action in inaction. So if you are performing action for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, there is no reaction. So there is inaction. And when you are not performing your prescribed duty, and you are thinking that if I perform some work, then it will bring reaction. So let me not perform it. But it is not like that. By not performing the prescribed action, you will be liable for sinful reaction. I'll give you one example. Someone is a parent, is a father or a mother. Their duty is to take care of their children, to protect them, to nourish them, to educate them. And if they ignore, then they are liable for reaction. Same way, students, we have been given facility resources. Our duty is to study. And instead of studying, we are watching Netflix or we are busy in some other entertainment things and we're not studying. Then the reaction will come to that. So Krishna gives this vision of performing Nishkam Karma Yoga and he prescribes many sacrifices. He prescribes many sacrifices. There's a list of sacrifices. 10 sacrifices is prescribed from verse number 20. From verse number 25 to 33. So he prescribes almost 10 sacrifices. And then what is the conclusion of the sacrifice? That is very interesting and very important. He says that the conclusion of all the sacrifice is to receive knowledge. That is the purpose. This entire chapter is based on receiving knowledge. So how to receive knowledge? Okay. One more life lesson is there, important. So we see many times that people just choose careers. How? Based on what is the reward or remuneration. That is not recommended in Bhagavad Gita. You should choose our career, our occupation based on our quality, which is called liking, and our activity. Guna and karma. Not on external factors. That is why we see, sometimes we see a software engineer. And where is he working? He is working in bank. Why is he working in bank? A software engineer? Because his pay is better. In software, he did not get opportunities. He got an opening in bank, so he has become a bank. Entire life he will remain dissatisfied. That is why we see job satisfaction is not there today. Because it is not as per guna and karma. There is no one to guide. And if someone guides, people don't accept. So there will always be a mismatch. A very important life lesson is that Bhagavad Gita does not give anyone any birthright. It is open to all. Whoever qualifies can receive this knowledge. But he has to come in the right disciplined succession. Like different flights will go to different destinations. So we will go where? The ticket where we buy, not otherwise. So Krishna explains this is, I've said 16 to 24 is how to perform karma on the platform of jnana, being devoid of any reaction, free from reaction. We are going to fast forward. And so we decide what action we perform. So we are responsible. It is not that the Supreme Lord is responsible. Many times we see many immature people. This is the nature of Kali Yuga people. If anything good happen, it is because of my contribution or my intellect. And anything reverse happen, anything bad happen, it is the Supreme Lord. It is not like that. Prabhupada gives so many examples. Like so many workers are working in the factory. The owner is not responsible for the action of each and every worker. Is the owner responsible? No. So similarly, the Supreme Lord has given us independence. And through Bhagavad Gita, he is giving us this knowledge. And we always have a choice. He does not force anyone to do anything. It is for us to decide. And once we decide to do, then how can he be responsible? So this is very important aspect. And then Krishna speaks about the various sacrifices. Another example is given that rain is the same to rocks, ocean, and fertile land. Is the rain partial or is the sun partial? What it depends. Not everywhere the rain falls, the yield is the same. The person who has, the farmer who has cultivated the land, he receives the best produce. He receives the best benefit of the rain. But the farmer who has not cultivated the land, it remains barren and only weeds come. So rains are not responsible. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is not responsible. We are responsible. And He is enabling us, empowering us to make the right choice. So in the last verse, the last section, Krishna summarizes the transcendental knowledge. And he says that what is the most powerful way of receiving this knowledge directly is to submit to a spiritual master. Very, very important verse. Most important verse of this chapter. Tad vidhi paripatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshanti te jnanam jnaninam tattvadarshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master who is coming in parampara. Inquire from him submissively and render service that way. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen that. Like we see in the case of doctors also. So what they do? Entire life they will study also to receive knowledge from the books. But where do they get the actual realization? When they are along with a practicing doctor. Yes, he will. So he gives us then the understanding of how to utilize that knowledge or the information that they have to be able to cure the patients. So that is only jnana. It is only information. And it becomes vijnana. It becomes realization or transformation when we are held by someone who already has that knowledge. So if we receive knowledge from such a personality, but to receive knowledge, there are two qualifications mentioned here. What are the two qualifications mentioned? Is paripati. We have to be very submissive, not to challenge him, not to contest with him, or try to argue with him, or try to prove him wrong. And also, we must perform some service, sevaya. So if we are performing some service to him, what is service? That we agree to follow what he is giving us, to apply what he is suggesting to us. So this is the way of receiving this transcendental knowledge. In this way, Krishna is giving his relationship to us. Through the spiritual master, to the spiritual teacher who is coming in his lineage. And whoever connects with him, he connects with Krishna. Like we see a rail also. We see a rail. So there is only one engine which is pulling. And there are so many coaches. And how the coaches are running? Because they are connected. There is a connecting ring. So as many coaches can be pulled who are connected. So in our life, in our journey, what we need to do, we need to connect to the right person who is connected to Krishna. Then there will be two-way flow. We will receive knowledge through him and we can render service to Krishna through him. Both. Our service to Krishna will reach to Krishna because he is a person who is connected. And the knowledge will flow, which is flowing from Krishna, will also be received to him. But if there is no connection, if we don't connect, then neither we receive the knowledge, nor we can offer any service. This is the most important aspect. And then Krishna glorifies this knowledge. Krishna glorifies this knowledge. He says, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha dekho. Very, very beautiful verse. I think this is the 38 verse. And before that, he says that this knowledge, whoever receives, if he may be in the most abominable situation, he may be the most sinful person. But that sinful person, if he receives this knowledge, the reactions of his sin, whatever he may have performed in this life or in the previous life, everything else will be burned to ashes. It is so powerful. That is the glory of this transcendental knowledge. That you may have been whatever in your previous lives. You may have, committed as many sins. Can you give some example? There are many examples in our Shastras. That very, very sinful persons also, when they received this knowledge, they became so pure. They purified the entire world. Name them. Tell me. You remember such example?
Maharishi Valmiki.
Very good. Maharishi Valmiki. He could not pronounce Ram because he was so sinful. But how did he receive this knowledge? Through Narad. Narad Muni came, and Narad Muni said, okay, you cannot pronounce Ram, you pronounce Mara, 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 and it became Ram. And you can purify it. So when we are directly being given the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then imagine then what will be the result. So in this way, we see our Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, where he went to the most wretched place in the world, the Bowery Street, where there were hippies. What are these hippies? Hippies are these completely abandoned people. They don't follow any rule, regulation. They are drug addict, having free sex, alcoholic, all nonsense they are performing in their life. They've been thrown out from the society. And even to such people, because what was the exemplary quality of these hippies who got connected with Prabhupada? They followed Prabhupada purely. And from hippies, they became happies. Because they received this transcendental knowledge, because they connected with Srila Prabhupada. So Krishna says that in this world, there is nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. And this knowledge is the mature fruit of all mysticism. And whoever receives this knowledge, they become accomplished in devotional service and he enjoys within himself in due course of time. So if we really want to live life king size, what is the king size? Vivaswan, sun god. We must become a student to receive this knowledge. And through this knowledge, Krishna is offering his own relationship. That is yoga. And once we receive this knowledge, then there is no possibility of any suffering or misery in this life. We will live happily and we will make others also happy. We will also remove the suffering in others' life. How? By connecting them to Krishna. So our mission in life should be to connect ourselves with Krishna and help others to connect with Krishna. That is the purpose of which Krishna spoke. To give us this divine relationship, eternal relationship. And this relationship will not be lost with the loss or change of the body. Our existing relationship that we have as relatives, father, mother, husband, wife, children, it is only to the tune we have our bodies. This relationship was not there before our birth, and this relationship will not be there when the body dies. All temporary. But this relationship with Krishna is offering is eternal. It will never die. And the living entity will also never die. That is the glory. Krishna says in the verse, he says, Arjuna, whatever doubts you have or whatever misconceptions you have, you slash it with the with the sword of knowledge. So this knowledge which we are receiving is like a sword, and it can cut all our misconceptions and doubts that we have in our heart and make us connect with Krishna and experience eternal existence, eternal happiness. Hare Krishna. I stop here. My time is over. Yeah. So very, very important chapter for us is Krishna is offering his relationship. Up to us whether we accept his offer or not. Hare Krishna. Jai Ho Premanand Gaur Prabhu. Welcome. You're hearing me, Premanand Prabhu?
Yes, yes, Hare Krishna.
Are
Pando
sure.
Prem Prabhu.
Your darshan will purify us.
Dandavat pranams. You're always joking.
No,
Thank you for that.
I am very serious. I want at least digitally we can see each other now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any one of you has any question or any contribution? Please go ahead. You should ask question. Like Arjuna asked that question. As soon as Krishna said, I gave this knowledge to Sun God, he asked him, how did you give it to Sun God? Huh? So if you have any doubt, please ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Virender ji.
Ji, I have one question.
Please.
Prabhuji, how one will understand his swabhava or guna?
Very good question. Very, very good question. Okay.
Ji.
How we will know that the child is intelligent or naughty? Huh? Who will decide? Will the child decide? I am asking you, Virender ji.
Ji, I think observer,
Who is the best observer?
maybe the teacher
His
or
parents.
Krishna,
His
his parents.
His parents, Baba.
Okay.
His parents are nursing him. Na?
Okay.
His parents, they are with him. So they know what is the swabhava of the child. Right or not?
Yes, yes.
If we ask the neighbor what is the swabhava, it could be, not accurate. Because he hardly sees how much time he spends. So the mother and father, they know for sure. Because since birth, they are seeing him and they are, upbringing him. So similarly, our spiritual teacher will tell us what is our swabhava, what we are good at, based on our association. They will tell us that where we are good and where we are strong and what we should pursue. It seems logical.
Ji, Prabhuji. Ji, Prabhuji. Then the other question comes after
Please.
this. Then, like in temple,
Yeah.
I feel that all of us are actually trying to be Brahmanas. Yeah. Nobody is actually Vaishya, Shudra, Kshatriya. And all of us we are trying to be Brahmana. Yeah. Am I correct in this?
Good question. Good question. See,
Yeah.
very good. Prabhupada said that I have created this society, ISKCON society, to create Brahmins. Why? Because if the body is there without head, where will be the progress? Where it will go? So in today's world, the society is without head. There is no one to give direction. But not everyone will become. That is for sure. Like the teacher, when he gives the training, he gives the class, not everyone will come first. Only one will come first. then someone will come second, someone will come third. Not everyone will become Brahman. But the opportunity is there, the training is there, the knowledge is there. Like the rain comes, yield is not same everywhere. How much one is utilizing it? Prabhupada writes that how much is the receptacle, how much is the recipient of what is being given. Accordingly, that result will come. If everybody says that I'm Brahman, I will sit on the Vyasasana and give class. Cleaning I will not do, cooking I will not do. How the temple will work? How the temple will function? Is it possible?
Yes, it's just not possible, and that's why Varnashrama is
Practical also.
everywhere applicable.
It is
Yeah.
not practical. It is like, you see, just example I gave, it is like the entire body structure.
Yeah.
The face cannot say, because I am the face, I am the head, I am the only important thing. When the hands are not working, what the face will do? When the digestive system is not working, how will the person survive? When the legs are not working, how will he, have any action? How will he move? So it is synchronized, it is coordinated. It is like a full body. Because it is based on guna and karma, not everyone can be Brahman, not everyone can be Kshatriya. So accordingly, that is what the system of Gurukul was. That at the age of 5, the child was sent in the ashram of the Guru. And then the Guru used to decide, after seeing him sufficiently, that to train him for Brahman, or to train him for Kshatriya, or for Vaishya, or for Shudra, accordingly.
Yeah.
But now there is no such system. That is why I cited, I have seen so many, they will come in IRI, get scholarship, and then they will try for IAS. Not even 1% become. And what is the result of 99%? Only frustration and opportunity loss. And what they have to do, they will receive reaction because they have blocked the seat of a scientist. Their service is that they should produce for the country, which they are not doing. They should do research. They should raise the productivity of the country.
Yeah.
These are subtle things, but the important thing, that is why we will see as the human race will go ahead in Kali Yuga, the suffering is going to become even more sharp and acute. Because everyone is performing, is trying to run away from his duty, not performing his duty. So not performing his duty, the reaction will come. So very important to have a guide, if not Guru, at least a guide who will tell us what to do and what not to do. He will save us from so much of reactions. But that is not the purpose of taking a Guru. कि मुझे बचाएगा पाप से. The purpose of Guru is to take us home, back to Godhead, release us from the material existence of birth, death, old age, and disease. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your joining and your inquisitive participation. Others can also ask if they have any doubt, please ask. If there are no doubt, then we should be following Bhagavad Gita fully.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Let me first, Swapnaja, you asked?
Prabhuji, I know that Vrishabhanu is the sun god. So why he chose to be
Vivasvana.
Vivasvana and Vrishabhanu,
Vivasvana is the father of Radharani.
but he is a son, God's son only. Then why he chose to become a father of Radharani?
No. These are two different personalities. Vivasvan. It is said, Krishna said, Imam Vivasvateyo. So the sun god is Vivasvan. You have the book with you, Bhagavad Gita. So just see the verse. It is not Vishwahanu.
But Vrishabhanu is also avatar of God's son.
No, Vishwanu Maharaj is, he appears in Braj, and he is such a devotee of the Lord that Srimati Radhanani accepts him as his father. Vishwanu Maharaj and Kirti Das Sundari, they are both residing in Braj, and they don't have any child. So they go and pray to Lord. And Srimati Radharani appears in a pond like a lotus. We went there. You remember? We
Radha.
went to that place where Srimati Radharani appears. What is that place called? Raval.
Yeah.
Raval. Like Sita Devi appeared to Janak Maharaj. Okay. Never mind. What is your question? Don't get confused between Vivasvan and Vishwan.
I heard that God's son is Vrishabhanu's avatar. Means Vrishabhanu is a God's son's avatar, and somewhere he chose to become Radha in this Dwapar Yuga. He asked Krishna to become a part of this his story of the Mahabharata.
This is what I am saying. This I showed the slide also. From where we have to receive the knowledge, we have to be very cautious. Don't try to receive it from YouTube and Google. It is very dangerous. It will pollute us more. Okay, Dayashil Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the service rendered by Valmiki to Sri Narad Muniji. So, because he received
Yeah.
knowledge, Prabhuji, what was service?
The service that he received, that service that he rendered, that he continued to chant the mantra without stoppage. That shows his submissiveness and his surrender. And then he performed big austerity. His entire body became anthill. Valmiki. The biggest service that he performed was he agreed and accepted Narad Muni's advice and gave up his occupation. Okay, Krishnamji. Hare Krishna, you have a question? You say you always have questions. I'll take your question.
I mean, the other audience, they did ask the question. They were really good. And so was the session, certainly.
Okay, then. So we will close for today. We'll close the session today. And we will continue next Sunday. There we will see those persons who are situated in this knowledge and they are performing action also. So how they are different, how they are completely differently situated. The fifth chapter is action in Krishna consciousness. Karma Yoga in Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. All glories to Bhagavad Gita. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the Assembly of Christ. Hare Krishna. All glories to you, Premanand God Prabhu. Look forward to see you next Sunday. Hare Krishna.
All glories to Pandurpram Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.